Think you know the truth about the world around you? Well, get ready to have your mind blown. Today, we're debunking 10 of the most common myths people still believe. Some of these will completely change how you see your body, nature, and even the universe itself. And trust me, fact number 10 is so crazy, it'll make you question everything. Stick around till the end and let's bust some myths. When does shaving make your hair grow back thicker? For years, people have believed that shaving makes your hair grow back thicker and darker. But let me tell you once and for all, that's a complete myth. When you shave, the razor cuts the hair at the surface, leaving a blunt tip. This blunt tip makes the new hair feel rougher and look darker. But the thickness or color doesn't actually change. Hair growth is controlled by your hair follicles, which are located beneath the skin. Shaving only affects the part of the hair that's already grown out. So why does this myth exist? It's all about perception. The new hair hasn't been exposed to sunlight or natural wear, so it looks coarser. But in reality, shaving has no impact on hair growth whatsoever. So next time someone tells you this, you'll know the science behind it. 2-do goldfish. Have a 3-second memory. Poor goldfish have been labeled as some of the dumbest creatures on the planet. But guess what? That's totally wrong. The truth is, goldfish actually have an impressive memory span. Scientific proof. Researchers have trained goldfish to associate colors and sounds with food for weeks or even months. In one experiment, a goldfish was trained to press a lever at a specific time to get food, and it remembered how to do it even after weeks of no training. Another study found that goldfish could recognize their owners and react differently to different people. So yeah, if you own a goldfish, don't be surprised if it remembers you. 3. Did dinosaurs really go extinct? Most people believe that dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, but that's not entirely true. Technically, dinosaurs are still among us today because birds are their direct descendants. Here's how we know. Fossil evidence shows that modern birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs like velociraptors. Birds share many features with dinosaurs, including hollow bones, feathers, and even similar skull structures. DNA studies have even shown that chickens are genetically closer to T-Rexes than they are to most other reptiles. So yeah, every time you see a pigeon or a seagull, just remember, you're basically looking at a tiny dinosaur. Do we only use 10% of our brain? This one has been repeated in movies, books, and self-help seminars. But let's set the record straight. You use 100% of your brain, not just 10%. How do we know? MRI scans show that even during simple activities, like talking, walking, or sleeping, almost every part of your brain is active at different times. There's no single unused part of the brain. Every region has a function, whether it's processing emotions, controlling movement, or storing memories. If 90% of our brain was useless, even small brain injuries would have no effect on us. But that's obviously not the case. This myth probably started from a misinterpretation of old neuroscience studies. But make no mistake, your brain is working all the time. 5. Does sugar make kids hyper? Parents everywhere swear that sugar makes kids hyperactive. But surprisingly, scientific studies have found zero connection between sugar and hyperactivity. The real explanation? In studies where kids were secretly given sugar-free drinks, but told it contained sugar, parents still believed their child was acting more hyper. The real cause of hyperactivity is usually excitement, lack of sleep, or simply being in a stimulating environment, like a party. So sugar doesn't actually turn kids into bouncing balls of energy. It's all in our heads. 6. Can lightning strike the same place twice? Spoiler, yes, it can. We've all heard the saying, lightning never strikes the same place twice. It's a classic phrase, but here's the thing. It's completely false. The science of lightning strikes. Lightning is a powerful electrical discharge caused by imbalances between storm clouds and the ground. And it doesn't care about old sayings. It follows the laws of physics, not superstitions. Why does it hit the same place multiple times? Tall structures attract lightning since they provide the shortest path to the ground. Objects like skyscrapers, radio towers, and even trees are frequent targets. The Empire State Building in New York gets struck about 25 times a year. NASA recorded a case where lightning hit the same spot 7 times within 2 seconds. Yes, you read that right. How dangerous is it? If you're in an open field, you're more vulnerable because there's nothing taller nearby. But if you're indoors or in a car, you're safe. Cars act as Faraday cages, redirecting electricity around you. Crazy lightning stories. Roy Sullivan, a park ranger, was struck by lightning 7 times and survived. He even earned a Guinness World Record. A golf course in Florida recorded multiple strikes in the same exact spot within minutes. So yeah, lightning doesn't just strike twice, it can strike the same place dozens of times. 7 are bats really blind? Nope, they can see just fine. Ever heard the phrase blind as a bat? Turns out it's totally wrong. Bats actually have great vision, some even better than humans. Bats' superpowers: sight plus echolocation. Bats do use echolocation, but that doesn't mean they're blind. They send out high-frequency sound waves which bounce off objects, helping them navigate in the dark. But many bat species also have excellent eyesight, especially fruit bats, which rely more on vision than sound. Studies show that some bats can see 3 times better than humans in low light. Certain species can even see ultraviolet light, which is invisible to us. Why do people think bats are blind? Bats are nocturnal, so people assume they can't see in the dark. Since they use echolocation, many believed it was their only way of navigating. Next time someone calls you blind as a bat, correct them. Bats might actually see better than you. 8. Do chameleons change color for camouflage? Not exactly. If I asked you why chameleons change color, you'd probably say for camouflage, right? Well, that's not entirely true. What's really happening? Chameleons change color mostly for communication, mood, and temperature regulation. Their skin contains special cells called chromatophores, which contain different pigments. Underneath these, they have iridophores, which reflect light and create different shades. So what affects their color? Temperature. Darker shades absorb heat. Lighter shades reflect it. Mood and communication. Bright colors mean they're excited, stressed, or asserting dominance over rivals. Mating signals. A male will flash bright colors to attract a female. But what about camouflage? Some species do blend into their surroundings, but that's not the main reason for color changes. They actually adjust their appearance based on emotions and environmental conditions. So if a chameleon turns red or yellow, it's not hiding, it's showing off. 9. Is cracking your knuckles bad for you? No, it won't cause arthritis. You've probably been told that cracking your knuckles will cause arthritis. But science says, nope. What's actually happening? When you crack your knuckles, you're not damaging your bones. You're simply releasing gas bubbles from the fluid in your joints. The facts. Your joints contain synovial fluid, which lubricates movement. When you stretch your fingers, gas bubbles form and pop, creating that crack sound. Studies show that people who crack their knuckles don't have a higher risk of arthritis than those who don't. The famous experiment. A doctor named Donald Unger cracked the knuckles of one hand every day for 60 years while leaving the other hand alone. After 6 decades, no arthritis. He even won an Ig Nobel Prize for proving the myth wrong. So crack away. Just know that excessive cracking might make your joints feel a little looser over time, but arthritis? That's a myth.